Hello and welcome to tonight's tutorial, the Nine of Wands. And there is the Nine of Wands. Indeed, it is like holding the world up against your head. You read somewhere that this card is a man on the front line after war, missing an arm and a leg. We don't see it in the picture, but I can hear you. Exhausted, but still at the front line. You always think of the card this way. Absolutely. Battered. In some way, it's incredibly hard. We've got to keep rethinking, haven't we? And reevaluating. And it's about protecting. And the planted ones behind him, they represent the problems that need to be resolved. And they probably keep coming up time and time again. It's like life does. I thought I dealt with that, now it's back again. Oh, I've just done that. How many times have you done something? Say we've got the Hierophant next to this. So the Hierophant is official red tape, governments, councils, passports, immigration, certificates, those kind of things. All that red tape, HR, filling in forms, all that kind of stuff. That stuff that actually makes you go, oh, I've done this and it's back again. That's exactly what this card is like. It drains you. With the Nine of Wands, there is a tendency to always be in a battle, maybe even coming to others' aid in their defense. It's their battle. But we've got to make sure that we don't do that because it will isolate us from others. And then we might go, why is everyone keeping away? And that's a part of life, isn't it? So we might have to address the situation by reflecting on all of our past actions, i.e. those 8 wands behind. And we might need to break the cycle. And yeah, we are battle weary and fed up with the constant cycle of conflict. But it's also indicating we might constantly need to challenge or prove that we're doing the best that we can. Just remember, we don't need to excel at everything. Even specialists, experts, they're experts in a teeny, tiny bit. Remember that. I'm going to put the keywords on. I'll be back with you in a moment. You're not good at astrology at all. No matter. But if you want to do your tarot and you want to add a little tiny piece of it, just bring it in. As in, maybe just do the 4 suits. That's nice and simple. Wands, what are they? Fire. What are the astrological star signs? Aries, who do you know that's an Aries? Think of them. Leo, who do you know that's a Leo? Think of them. And Sagittarius, well, I've got one straight away. I've got the passionate Sagitt, and you, Queen of Cups, knows that. Yeah, if you go, right, that's one. And then you've only got another 3 there. The reason I say that, Queen of Cups, is with tarot, I think we can get lost if we don't know where to look for someone. I don't think you were here the other day, were you, when we did the 8 of Wands? Go back and have a look at that. That really will help you. Just touch. Don't be an expert in it. You don't need to. We did some numerology and we did some planets and we did some astrology and we did it really simply. And also, Queen of Cups, if you are not sure about astrology and you just want to know a tiny bit, I did something on my blogs. I've gone for a celeb or somebody famous, and I've referred to them as Queen of Cups, as in another star sign, and given you 5 examples of people you might know. So if we don't know an Aquarius, for example, in our lives, I may not have done Aquarius. Having said that, let me just tell you, I've done the blogs, as in, I don't know when I started. I believe I may have started with Aries. And of course, we are currently, I've got Scorpio up there because we are now officially in Scorpio. Yeah, that can help where you go, yeah, I think of that. You know, I'll tell you, the Emperor, I know loads of Aries, but guess who I see? Alan Sugar. And he may not even be an Aries. I've not actually thought about whether or not everyone knows who Alan Sugar is. Probably do, but Americans may not be the first thing they think of, as in, so I try to do it so worldwide people would get it, and it will help you. And when I was teaching tarot, my students were studying, I used to get them to pick somebody famous or something that was currently happening where we knew a lot about what was going on. Some did Madonna, one did Nigel Farage. That one was because we were thinking of going into Brexit, and of course that happened. But we were looking at what was going on with him and would he actually get what he wanted out of it. And Gwen, my student, she looked at, I think James looked at Madonna. I think that Jess, she looked at some hero of hers, as in a rock singer that she very much liked. And it was really important because then you could actually look at their cards and we could use that as an exercise. And then you could go on to Google and look up to see if it was right. Or you could look at the cards and let's say they cheated and looked at Google first. So what? Did the cards make sense to the story that they knew, the narrative? It all helps. Okay, great question. All right, I will answer that for you. Okay, I go, oh, I don't know, get it all the time. And it's, here we go. So it's okay, because I haven't got a star sign for them, and that's how I really want to pick them up. I'm going to ask you to describe them a little bit to me. And they go, they're tall and they're blonde or they're dark and they are 5'2", whatever it is. And you can listen to that because that can help you. Or they're of Mediterranean appearance, or they are coming from a different culture, speak a different language, whatever you want to. They'll say all sorts. What I'm looking for, and I'll listen to that, but I'll say to them, actually, would you say they're very sensitive? Straight away, I'm looking to see if they're a water sign. Would you say that their communication is really sharp, razor sharp, or a bit flaky even? Then I'm looking at air. Also, are they somebody that's recovered the mark, or fire signs? They're never lazy. They're always involved in something, and do they follow up with what they say they do? Or is this person a little traditional, in which case they're earthy? Are they reliable? Stability? It's those kind of traits that will help you. And remember that if they say, I think they're a Libra, and there's a lot of people that come from the country India. I'm sure it happens other places, but my clients, they've gone, can you look at mum? And I go, what's star sign? It's on a passport, it says this, but they never registered her birth. But she thinks her birthday's in June, but we celebrate it in May. Did you follow that? Yeah? And I will go, right, okay, to celebrate her birthday in X. Let's go with that. That's fine. Let me tell you something else. In numerology, if you wanted to look at what the numbers add up to in your name, so you could look at Anne-Marie, okay, then you could look at my surname. Or you could, I've used me, all right, or I could just look at Anne. I'm not known as Anne. That probably wouldn't make any sense, right? I know people shorten it, but it's not something I'm familiar with, so it's not my nickname. Whereas if you've got a nickname and everyone calls you by that, and let's say that sometimes my brother's called Robert, so people will call him Rob or Bob, or some people call him Nobby. Where does that come from? Does it matter? No. In numerology, it's okay to look up any of those nicknames because it still accurately applies to that person. So do not worry if they're known as Jack and Jill and their real names are Margaret. My Auntie May, I only just worked out that it's short for Margaret. Margaret, sometimes we get Mags, Peggy. How do we get Peggy from that? Can you see my point? It doesn't matter. And the other one, my brother was called Norbert. Someone called him Norbert at work, so everyone called him that. He's curious, I'm sure. In his industry, what did it matter? QSs are worldwide international people, every culture under the sun, working on projects that my brother worked on in Dubai and things like that. Of course, can be, and it sticks. So don't worry. So if you are known as Queen of Cups or you are known as the passionate Saggy and you want to do your numerology on that name because you identify with, that's what you do in numerology, the same in tarot. So if you don't know their astrological sign, you might get a gut feeling and go, oh, you know what, they're really hot and cold. And you go, okay, sounds like Mercury in retrograde, so we get there, all right. And they go, you know what, I think there might be, yeah, I think it might be Libra. Go, okay, we'll go with that. Yeah, they remind me of my dad. He's a Libra. That's fine. That's what you do because it works. So it's bolted to that. And sometimes I'll go a bit deeper and look at me and I'll look at my moon in the cards. Instead of just looking at my Cancerian, the Chariot, I will actually look at the Strength card for Leo. And quite often the Death card because I've got Scorpio rising. So I hope that helps, okay? We are well going over time. I had loads more to say. You know, just know that this is a card where this person's given their all and they're refusing to comply. They're tired and they're fed up and they're probably sick to the teeth of the whole situation. And they want to give up and they want to throw in the towel. That's the last thing they should do because it's all about patience and persevering and that we mustn't take no for an answer. And the Nine of Wands can suggest to you that you're giving it your all and you're giving it your very best shot. And when you get knocked down, dust yourself down and stand back up because we've got the stamina to do it. You just might need to walk away, even if it's to do something physical or have a rest, but to do something different because we are tough and we can survive this. It's don't give up. Make one last stand, your very best yet. Finish what you started because this is a card of real character building stuff for sure. I'm going to show you the courses. If you want to learn more, all these kind of things that we can talk about. All right. So as I said, you can take a screenshot of that. Don't forget, if you miss anything, to make sure that you go and look at Thursday's podcast, which is the Learn Tarot, all about the tutorial. Okay. Thank you so much for your comments tonight. It's really fab. And yeah, I'll see you Tuesday. And we'll be looking at how to read this card with the Major Arcana. And from that, that'll lead us up to number 10, this time next week, Thursday, 31st of October. Happy birthday to all those babies that have got their birthday on Halloween. I'm sure they will be doing whatever they want. My pleasure. So I hope that helped. I wouldn't say go with your instinct. I would say listen to them. They'll describe something. You'll pick something up from there. And if you don't, go with your hunch. Go with that, which is good. Sounds like they're really traditional. I'm going to pick an earth sign, sounding as if they are a bit stubborn. Let's go for this one, that one, or the other. Or they're really sensitive, or they're flaky in their communication, or they are really quite lively soul and lots of energy. Aries, you'd get that. So yes, it's not helpful to our method, but yes, a brilliant question. I'm so glad that you actually brought that up because I would have forgotten that. Okay, it's Thursday. That means we're coming up for a weekend. I do hope you have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Thanks so much for your company and you're very welcome, Passionate Saji. Thanks, Queen of Cups, and everybody that commented tonight. Nice to meet you, Jenny James. And yeah, we'll see you all really soon. Until then, bye for now.